Hi, we're back. Sorry, I am a couple of minutes late, I think. So I'll just double check. Number 2, I'll just sit that there for you to have a little sticky at. So I might just type a message to Kerry to let her know she might need to refresh her screen if she doesn't see the so bear with me for a second. Okay. Done. All right, so hopefully Kerry got that message and let me know, give me a comment to make sure you can hear me and see this one. Whoever's here. Okay, so this one I have called Boho Daisy. The reason being the blue cardstock that I've used is the new Boho Blue colour, which is one of the new in colours this year. And I really liked it and thought it went, I love the way it looks with the white. It reminds me of the old Wedgwood blue and white plates and things. I forget what that was called, but you probably know what I mean. So yeah, I thought that looked really nice with the Boho Blue. So for this one, obviously we've got lots of daisies and some leaves. What I've done with the daisies is you'll notice in your kit you'll have this large die cut. You'll probably have 2 of those, I think, 1 or 2 of those. And I actually cut that apart to use them all separately. And then you'll have these 3 detailed die cuts. You'll have as many of those as you have daisies. To be able to, and they stick on top of those daisies and give that beautiful detailed look. So hopefully you can see that there. Excuse me if you can hear me sucking on a lolly. I do apologise, but when I've been talking for a while I tend to get a bit croaky in the throat. So, first things first, I better get my supplies out. Okay. So you will have a white card base. In my sample, I actually did it blue on blue. So instead of having a white card base, I used the blue, but I wanted to just make the video one a little bit different, just to compare the 2. And you'll have all your daisy bits there. And I've given you a Boho Blue layer there, which is what we're going to be sticking all the daisies to. So first things first, we need to cut this down though, because I've just given you a full card front. and I just want a few millimeters around the edge. So get your trimmer out and I will give you the measurements for that. I'll just move my daisies off to the side so I don't mess them up. And I've given you an extra blue piece for your greeting, which we're going to emboss with white embossing powder. So make sure you've got some of that handy. And we're going to, well, I'm going to die cut mine out. You can either die cut or punch your greeting out, whatever is easiest for you. So this piece is going to get cut down to on the short side, it is 10.1. So I'm actually taking 4 millimeters off. Oh, I can't see that, the glare from the windows coming in. Sorry, I just need to move that a little bit. So 10.1. Yeah, so I'm taking 4 millimeters off 2 sides, so that gives us a 2 millimeter border all the way around. And on the long side, it will measure 14.8. No, it won't. It'll measure 14.45. 14.4, halfway between 14.4 and 14.5 is about there. Okay, so I only wanted a tiny little border around that. So don't stick that down yet because we've got some work to do on that. So as you can see, just a 2 millimeter border roughly all the way around. Okay, I'll just put my card base to one side so that we can work on this. Actually, we're going to work on our greeting first because depending on what size greeting you have, again, I don't want a big greeting because I want a lot of the daisies and leaves to show. But your greeting may be a different size and shape. So you want to do this, we want to do the greeting first so that we know where we can, how much space we need to allow for that and where we want to stick our flowers down. So let's do that first. So stamp whatever greeting you've chosen in Versamark. This time I'm going to use the one that says, "Your friendship means everything." Thought that was really sweet. Okay, make sure I get the right one because I've got both stamps on this one. So I'm just allowing enough room. Make sure you've got, before you stamp it, make sure you've got your white embossing powder all ready to go and your heat tools so that your ink stays nice and wet. And because it's Versamark and quite sticky, I like to sort of leave it there for a few seconds before I lift it up. That looks pretty good. And I didn't rub my embossing buddy over the top of my cardstock. So if you haven't done that yet, do that first if you've got one. If you haven't, don't worry about it. I've got my embossing powder here already to go in my tray. Okay, well, thankfully, even though I didn't use my embossing buddy, I don't think I've got much. No, that looks all right. So, pardon the noise. Get your heat tool out and give that a go over. the cord of my heat tool doesn't quite reach where my camera is, so I'm just out of shot here, sorry. There we go. That looks pretty sure I got all of that. Okay, and now I'm going to die cut that out with the same label greeting, because all the greetings in that daisy set fit. Actually, there is one that doesn't fit, I think. Oh no, they do all fit. Yeah, there you go. So they all fit there. So I'm going to die cut that out, and I'll put a bit of sticky over that to keep it straight. Okay. Keep that straight. Hang on, I'm having trouble getting that straight. Sorry if you can see my head. Okay, I think that's straight now. There we go. Okay. Yep, that looks pretty straight to me. Excellent. Right, so we've got that ready to decide where we want on our card. Now, I wanted my greeting to be further towards the top than half, and a little bit further towards the right side. So around about there. So now we can start putting our daisies together. So as I said, I've snipped, go ahead and snip all these apart. And you might just need to trim some little bits off after you've snipped them. One's already snipped, that one's not. Okay, and you might find too that some of these holes in the centre, which do actually poke out, if some of them are still stuck in there, you can choose whether you leave them in or poke them out. As you can see on mine, some of them are left in, some of them are out. I think it just gives it a nice natural sort of look if everything's not completely poked out. So I'll poke some of them out, but the rest I'm happy to leave. Where's my pokey tool? There we go, just poke a few out. That'll do. And then we'll do the same for the others. Just poke a few out. If you want to poke them all out, go right ahead. and that'll do. Okay, and the leaves, I might poke the leaves out, I think. I quite like the... There we go. Okay, so now get rid of all those messy bits. It's driving me nuts. So now it's just a matter of gluing the details on top of the daisies. I'm just going to use normal liquid glue on the back of that. But work out, I like to use my tweezers for this because it can take a minute to work out where it goes. So take a few minutes to work that out, and then just pop some liquid glue on the back of your detail bit. We don't need to put a lot of glue on, so just dab it around. Okay, that'll do. And then while that's still on my tweezers, I can put that back down there. And it's not a perfect line up with the flower because it's kind of more of a, they've gone for a more natural kind of look rather than a super symmetrical look, so I quite like that. Now, if I've probably given you more flowers than what you need, so you decide how many you would like to use. It's entirely up to you. Okay, I haven't missed any other comments, have I? I can see Marilyn commented right at the start, but I haven't missed any others. Kerry, did you find me? Can you put up a comment if you found me all right? Because now that I've started the video, I won't be able to see if you replied to my message. Oh, hang on. Yes, I can. And okay, so hopefully Kerry did find us. Just pop a comment up, Kerry, and if you're in here watching. Now, let's see, line this one up. This one I seem to remember was a bit harder to work it out. I think I'm actually going to flip that around. It's easier for me to have this in my right hand. Yes. Can you see that there's a couple of these long bits here that have got a high join instead of the low join here? They're joined quite high. And then here you can see that high join is, I'm pretty sure that's that bit there. So let's see if I'm right about that. Where's that high join there? If I put that there, does everything else line up? Oh, yes. Just going to move that slightly out of camera so that I can get my head over it. It's about there. There you go. So just take your time checking those. And we've got one more little one here. a little, looks almost like a echinacea flower, doesn't it? Well, this one will be easy, much easier to line up. So alrighty. I've got that around the wrong way. That's all right. Put that way. And here we go. Oops, I can't get my tweezer off. There we go. That's that one. Okay. So now we want to work out where we want to put our flowers. Now on this one, I actually, I had two big ones there. I'm not going to do that today. But on the big ones, I actually glued them over, deliberately over the edge a little bit and then snipped them off. I just thought that looked nice, them going off the page there. So we might do that again. I'll put the big one down the bottom. I think I'm just going to have a little play with where I want these. I'm not entirely 100% sure. Maybe like that, and maybe that leaf going up there, and that one. No, this looks a bit empty in here, doesn't it? I wanted the leaves, at least two of the leaves, to be coming out of the greeting. So I think I'll move that little daisy. Have that leaf coming out there. So in that case, I might put my big flower down here. And then my other leaf can go there. Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay. So I'm going to lift that greeting off, just trying to keep everything vaguely in place. And then start sticking down. So again, just a little bit of your liquid glue on the back. Don't need a lot. Okay, don't worry, don't put any in the center because it'll oh, I need my silicone mat under there. Hang on a second, because I'm going off the edge a little bit, even just a tiny bit. I don't want that glue coming off on my paper. Okay, so that's that one. And just make sure, because some of that might have moved when I moved that. So might just leave him sitting there for a second. Oops. I'll stick him down. Oh, good, Kerry. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're liking it. So, is anyone else loving this blue? Or is it not one of your favourite colours? I must admit, I didn't think I would like it because it's quite muted. But when I saw it with the white, that really sold me. And it actually, also when I saw it with some of the other new colours that it goes nicely with. Okay, so where will I put him? I think about there. Bearing in mind we're also going to have ribbon under this greeting, so some of him is going to get covered up, but that's all right, not too much. All right, we'll do this guy now. Now, this fellow, I think I put adhesive sheet under one of mine. Unfortunately, I didn't think to do that with your kit, so I'll have to put glue on my other one, but this one's got adhesive sheet on it, which on these fine, the reason I didn't do it on your kits is because I really wasn't sure, because these leaves are so delicate, whether it would tear anything as you're taking it off. So I thought, well, I'll risk it on mine, I won't risk it on your kit. There we go. If you're careful, you can do that. So if you end up getting this bundle, I can highly recommend those adhesive sheets. Okay, so I don't need that anymore. I'll do this one now. Okay, Marilyn's got to go. No worries, doll. Yep, thank you for watching as much as you can. That's lovely. And we shall catch you later. Okay, so I want him to go up there. I'll put him that way or that way. I think that way. Okay. And now I will put that one down. So even though these are really fiddly to glue, the thing I do with the liquid glue is just make sure you've got a tiny bit coming out of your nozzle and just swipe it. You don't need to cover the whole, every tiny little branch. Probably the tips are good to try and get a little bit on the tips, and the thicker bits of the where the branches join, where the leaves join on the stems, is a bit easier to get the glue on. But I found if I just dotted it around and just kept swiping it, you won't be able to see it on camera, I don't think, but you'll be able to see on your own thing if the glue is actually coming out. And let's do these bits a bit more where it might have dried a bit. That's probably enough. And that bit's going to go under my greeting anyway, so I'll just move that greeting off and put him there. I'm just using my adhesive sheet to pat that down so I don't get any glue on my fingers in case any did ooze out. And then I'll pop that back down there just to make sure that's still where I want it to be. Yeah, and we'll put some glue on this little one, and I think that's the last of them. So Kerry, are you crafting along with me, or are you just watching and then make it later when you've whenever it suits? Again, I'll get my adhesive sheet. Stab that down. Alrighty. So I'm pretty happy with that. Too bad if I wasn't, because everything's stuck down now. So now I want to trim off these edges of my leaves. Put my glue lid back on my glue first. Just flip it over to the back and trim those off. It's only a tiny bit, but it's just I quite like that effect. Okay. Get rid of all my rubbish. So now, before we put our greeting and our ribbon on, don't let me forget the ribbon this time, ladies. We're going to do some white splattering. So I mentioned on that sheet that you'll need some white ink. I hope I mentioned it. Yes, I did. So I've got my Whisper White craft ink here. I don't think it's called Whisper White anymore, but it's called white. And my refill bottle. And I've already put some in the little thing there on the stamp pad, whatever that's called. And I've got my aqua painter. Now, you don't want to dilute it too much when you're mixing it up, because as it dries, we'll have to use the heat tool on it, and as it dries, it will fade. It won't be as bright a white. So squeeze a little bit of ink out, sort of away from, a little bit of water out away from the ink, and then just come in and grab a good strength of ink, and then it's just a matter of doing that. Now I want a bit more on there. That's not coming out very much. That's not splattering as much as it did the first time I did it. Oh, there you go. Okay, and just splatter it wherever you want it to go. Okay, you can't also have your brush too dry, because then it won't. That's splattering a bit more now. It won't. If your brush is too dry, it won't splatter easily. The water is really good at helping it to splatter. So not quite enough water there. I need a bit more water. There we go. Some nice big dots there. See them all more water you've got, the more bigger the dots seem to be. I'm going to leave that. I think that's enough for mine. Let's clean my brush off. That white craft ink is quite a sticky ink too. It's not the same as their normal Stampin' Up's normal inks. It's a different consistency. Now that craft ink does also take a while to dry, so I'm going to put the heat tool on that. So you do that with yours as well. Sorry for the noise. So you just want to dry it off so that you can keep working with it. And you'll notice that you'll see it start to fade. My dog's whinging at me now. What do you want, Monty? If your paper starts to curl, just flip it over and run your heat tool over the back of it. Just keep flipping it over if it starts to curl. And I think, let me just check that. Some of it might still be a bit damp, but I think it's dry enough to work with. It won't matter if any of it gets smeared a little bit. It just gives it a nice natural look. So now, now, I need to cut myself some of that lovely blue ribbon. So this is the same coloured ribbon, the Boho Blue. So I want about, if I put that greeting back there, I want it to sort of go yay, yay, and yay. So cut a little bit more than that. This is beautiful. I really love this ribbon. So all the new in colours come in this this same type of ribbon that you got in your kit. Yeah, that'll work really well. So now I'm going to put some double-sided tape on the back of that. A good amount so that the ribbon has plenty to stick to, and then I'll be popping it up on dimensionals. If you find your double-sided tape, if you struggle getting the backing off, I have found that rather than starting at the end, that it's easier to start further in, and it just comes off really easily if you use some kind of a sharp pokey tool. It seems to be a lot easier than starting at the end. And so now, watch out for that. That's where your what do they call it? Silicone mat comes in handy. So now I just want to make sure I get that up the right way. And I want it about there. And there. Actually, I don't want that sticking out too far at the top because I don't want to cover that top flower too much. And about there. Okay. All right, and I'll wait until I've stuck that down before I'll just eyeball it and cut that ribbon. I'll cut them both the same angle, so I'll cut that about there and cut that one up to about there. Yeah. Yep, happy with that. So get your dimensionals out. And again, when you're putting the dimensionals on the back, make sure that you cover up any of that tape that's still exposed. So there's a bit exposed in there. So I'd probably not use this many dimensionals on this size piece, but I just need to make sure that all of those spots are covered. And I'm even going to get one of these edge pieces and go in there to cover that bit. And I think that's about it. That'll do. Kerry's going to make the cards later, fair enough. And that way when you make them later too, you can fast forward any of the, boring bits. Where are my tweezers? I love using my tweezers to position things. Just makes it so much easier to get a good look. There we go. Now we can put that all on our card base and put our bling on and we're done. Easy peasy. So I'm going to pop mine up on dimensionals as well, but I like to, when I've got a whole card front to put up on dimensionals, I use these the foam adhesive sheets that I can just cut to whatever size I want. I just find that they just provide a little bit more stability to a whole card front. Side and a little bit in the middle. I hate having saggy bits on my card fronts. And I also find that with these thicker pieces that you don't need to go super close to the edges either, so you can come in a bit because there's enough there to support, enough foam to support well and truly to the edges. And just a bit across the middle there. There we go. And this card, you'll notice that I've got it opening that way, so make sure you stick this down the right way. And oops. Yes, following my own rules there, making sure it's stuck down the right way. I just need to stand up and look at this. The white card base on the white grid paper is a little bit tricky. I can just line that up with that. It's handy to be able to line your card bases up with the grid paper so that you get everything straight. Just trying to get all my edges even. There we go, that's pretty even. Now we just need some bling. So what are you thinking of this one? Did you use more daisies than I did? See, this one's got the more daisies on it. And do you prefer on the white card base or the blue card base? I like them both, but I think my preference would be the blue card base. I think the blue on blue. But they both look nice. And I don't mind the lesser daisies. I can't choose. I like them both. So the bling that I'm using is pearls. They are called, I did mention it on that sheet, they are called Festive Pearls. And they've got in the pack as red, green, silver and gold. It's a real pale green. I'm not sure what colour they've used for that, but it's really soft and pretty. Great for Christmas cards too, so either Christmas or whatever. I think I'm going to go, what are we going to do? I think I'm going to put 2 over here. And a third one up here somewhere. Yeah, about there. Okay, there we go. That one's done. So I hope you enjoyed that one as well. And we will come back for the last project. So another 5 or 6 minutes. I was a little bit late getting back. So, the next one you'll notice in your kit is just 1 sheet of DSP and some ribbon. So that'll be interesting. Okay, so go and have a break, clean up from this card or finish off the bits that you need to if you haven't yet. And I'll see you in about 5 or 6 minutes.